Okay, welcome to Crackers and Milk again.
Thank you.
I am your host, David. I'm joined by Mike and Jacob for our second season. Jacob has our synopsis.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Yay!
Jake's favorite movie.
Shut up.
Let's go pod racing.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is a young apprentice Jedi Knight under the tutelage of Qui-Gon Jinn. Anakin Skywalker, who will later father Luke Skywalker and become known as Darth Vader, is just a 9-year-old boy. Boo. When the Trade Federation cuts off all routes to the planet Naboo, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are assigned to settle the matter.
They really spoil that about Anakin Skywalker being Darth Vader
In the synopsis.
in the synopsis?
Guys, we all knew that going into
Well,
the movie.
the people who knew the 4, 5, and 6, yeah, but some people who didn't know 4, 5, and 6, they ruined it.
Guys, one of the promotion pictures was little 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker walking with the walking into the sun, and the shadow casting behind him is Darth Vader.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
Guys, why are you acting surprised?
I'm just surprised. I didn't know that.
It's just kind of
Honestly.
interesting. Why would they give that away?
Yeah.
You're saying that they didn't give it away. It was common knowledge.
It was common knowledge.
Somebody else, not me. Sorry, everyone listening.
Yeah, it's just interesting that they spoiled it in the synopsis.
It's not a spoil.
It is. For some people who haven't watched Star Wars, it is. But anyway.
If you don't know the line, "No, I am your father,"
True.
at this point in time,
Well, now, sure.
you're under the
But at
age of
that time-
5.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I was going into the theater, because I didn't watch 4, 5, or 6, let's just say, I'm old enough to go and, I'm going to go watch this movie. And they tell me that's Darth Vader. I'm like, well, everyone who knows who Darth Vader is, great. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to lead up to it. You're like, holy crap, that kid is Darth Vader.
The internet was not what it was.
That's true.
True.
Is not what
True.
it is.
True.
In 1999, it was not the same as it is now.
Nope, not even. So 1999, we have our top 10. So our number 1 was Phantom Menace, which made $1.02 billion. And then number 2 was Sixth Sense. Number 3
I
was...
see dead people.
It's a little boy. I see dead people.
Toy Story.
I have a cold.
Toy Story 2. The Matrix, Tarzan. The Mummy, Notting Hill. The World Is Not Enough. Another James Bond movie.
Yeah.
American Beauty, and Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, at $312 million.
Is that the second one or is that the first one?
I think that's the first one.
I don't remember.
No idea.
You know, I don't know anymore.
No, that's the second one. The first
Second
one was Austin Powers International Man of
Man's
Mystery.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, you have...
Well, Jacob,
Or
let's
money.
see. You'd be proud to know that the numbers do go down a little more for the Phantom Menace. So their budget was $115 million, and in our times, $177 million. Wow. The opening weekend was $64 million, so it made about half in 3
back,
days.
yeah.
Yeah, half back. And then that'd be $99 million in our time.
not bad.
The gross total overall in the U.S., $474 million or $730 million. And then worldwide total was $1.02 billion or 1.5 now our time. And then the budget of $115 and a profit of 1.02 resulted in a profit gain of 893%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's not...
So, yeah.
Well, there was more movies to go and see.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Austin
The movies
Powers
have-
and
Well, and then you had Sixth Sense that took away some because, like, that was a surprise movie at that time.
They didn't come out at the same time, though.
Well, I know, but, like, that was a surprise movie of the year. Like, movie that year was The Sixth Sense.
I liked The Mummy. The Mummy was good.
The Mummy. Yeah, that was a good movie, too. Somewhat.
Yeah, you reading that list. I saw a lot of those down in Ephraim, Utah when I was going to Snow College.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So later, when we get to our fun facts,
Yeah.
I'd like to tell a little story about Sixth Sense. Just kind of interject some interesting story into that.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's fine. Okay.
Well, let's go there now.
Okay, so interesting facts about Phantom Menace. Oh, the Phantom
The
Menace.
Phantom Menace, Episode 1.
Episode 1. Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, Episode 1.
The fever pitch about this movie, 1999. Oh, the people camping out for months
Yep.
at the theater.
Yep.
It was insane.
Which is so interesting, and it's all because of those first 4, 5, and 6. That's why people
Exactly.
did that. Like, they were happy about it. They're happy that a Star Wars is going to come out in their lifetime. Because you just didn't know that if George Lucas was going to do anything at all.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah. And then it turned into the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. So, I don't know what, an interesting fact that while I was reading in this magazine about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn, right? He talked about some things that were the main flaws, like they said, computer generated would-be comic foil, Jar Jar Binks, Towhead, Anakin Skywalker. Those were some of the flaws. But then he pointed out the Obi-Wan's and Qui-Gon's interaction with each other. He's like, if there's any magic partnership between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, he wrote, it is a galaxy far, far away. Did you feel that way while you were watching it? I didn't feel that way when I was watching it.
I can see what he's talking about.
You can?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
They're hardly in any scenes together.
Yeah, you have the death scene that
Yeah.
is in the fighting, the lightsaber scene
But
with Darth Maul.
when Qui-Gon goes into town, Obi-Wan stays on the ship.
Do you think those two could get along with each other?
Yeah.
Like, in real life? That's why they weren't in...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
They could get along, or they couldn't get along?
They could get along. I mean, you would have heard how they hated each other by now.
True. Do you think it's just because, like, the blue screen or the green screen at the time? Because they kept saying the blue screen at that time, so it was a blue screen. Now it's all green,
Yeah.
right? Do you think it's like because they had to deal with all of that, and they were they were more actors, like real settings, real things, so it's a lot more stiff. They're a lot more stiff because they have to do it in a blue screen, like Ian McKellen.
No storms in a studio.
Yeah, Ian McKellen would when I watched The Hobbit, and I would watch like the commentary and all that stuff. Yeah. He always found it difficult when he was in the room all by himself, because that's what he had to do in order for them to computer generate the dwarfs.
Yeah.
And with him, so it's like, I wonder, because he's a great actor. These two are great actors.
Yeah.
But they had to like deal with that part.
Well, that could be like, I was just watching, I'm listening to a new podcast, another one, The Office Ladies.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how hard it is to talk to be in a telephone scene when you're talking to no one on the other line.
Yeah.
If you're not a good actor, it's super, super hard. So,
really?
I could see that. If you're in a room by yourself with a green screen, how do you interact with those people around you? It'd be so much easier and more natural if you're interacting with actual people and puppets.
Yeah, I don't understand, like with like that type of phone. Let's say the phone scenes.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they just call somebody and have someone read the other lines, and you're reading you're doing your line, and you have it, like, to me, it's
I
like,
don't understand that either.
That?
Yeah, why don't you just have somebody actually talking to them? But they don't. They're talking to no one.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but that's acting in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
You got to visualize that there around you, but when you're trying to visualize it, are you? Yeah, it seems too hard.
And also watching Lord of the Rings too, when they've talked about Sarkis as Gollum, that the actors, when he was really there, they would do it.
Yeah.
They would do it really well. But like when he wasn't there and they had to like pretend,
Yeah.
they sucked. That's what they said. And so like he decided to stay and do it with them more, which is smart, way smart.
So another thing about the Phantom Menace is you only see bad CGI.
I agree with that, and you see a lot of bad CGI. It did not age well. It's like Toy Story 1. It didn't age well.
And
Toy Story 2 did. Toy Story 3 did. Toy Story 1 didn't age well.
Watching it again after, a couple of years, I realized this movie's just boring.
Oh, my gosh.
It's quite boring. Even with... The pod race is awesome.
By the way, the pod race, did it remind you of any other movie?
Ben-Hur?
Ben-Hur. Yep, okay.
So I was watching that pod race, and like Robot Chicken says, they have Darth Vader say, I'm going to bring Wizard back. And I never got that joke. I'm like, what the heck? And then watching his friends say, Annie, this is Wizard. You're like, oh, this is where it is. Wizard. Wizard. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
It never made sense, but now it does. It's like, yes, Wizard. Why would George Lucas put, Annie, this is Wizard right then and there?
Because George doesn't understand the story.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
The Phantom Menace is all the plot holes he made for the original trilogy.
See, okay, so going to Roger Ebert, gave this 3.5 stars.
It was awesome at the time.
It was. And then
you watched it and you thought about it.
He says, this is probably the thing that stuck out the most to me. It's like, I wish Star Wars characters spoke with more elegance and wit, but dialogue isn't the point anyway. These movies are about new things to look at.
Yes.
And that's all he said about it in Phantom Menace, which I can understand. It's something to look at.
Yes.
It's like, oh, this is great. This is a marvel of this time right now. Except
Exactly.
Yoda. Yoda looked weird because he was a Muppet. Like he was the literal Muppet.
Which the Phantom Menace should have had more of.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Watto or whatever his name is, the Anakin and his mom's owner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't age well.
So true.
Interesting fact, though. Did you notice that in one of the scenes in that his little junkyard, there's the space pod from 2001, A Space Odyssey, sitting there?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I
I didn't see
haven't-
that.
I've watched Space Odyssey like once or twice, but I haven't.
That's a boring movie, but
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree. That's a very good movie.
I had to pause to think of the name because I literally call it in my mind "Get to the point." But yeah, there's one of the the astronaut space pods there.
Oh, nice,
Cool.
nice. I need to look at that again because like that one was so weird. Like I don't know that scene with him and how he's betting Anakin or the mom.
Yeah,
And you're just like, whoa, okay, cool.
yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, the leading up to the pod race is boring. The pod race is awesome.
Yeah.
Leading up to the final battle is boring.
Yeah.
Final battle.
Like someone was pointing out too, like how it was always easy for them to get into like an Imperial ship and all that stuff. It was always easy, and I was like, wait a minute, no, it wasn't. And I'm like, oh yeah, episode 1. Can't really remember anything in episode 2. Episode 3, yeah, it was easy for Anakin and Obi-Wan to get into the star thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, wow. Why did they make it so easy? I don't get it. Maybe they just didn't want to deal with that.
Because that's the plot of the movie. How do you feel about the cast? Do you think it was cast correctly?
Boy, I don't know.
See that whole with it being too old? If Luke was too old and then a 9-year-old's too old,
Yeah.
that was really weird for me. I think they should have done him a little bit older.
I think Hayden Christensen should have been Anakin Skywalker in
From the
episode-
very beginning.
From the very beginning. Or the George Lucas's first choice, Leonardo DiCaprio.
That would have destroyed Leonardo.
Would it? Did it destroy Natalie Portman?
No, but I...
Did it?
Wait,
did
with
it
Natalie
destroy Ewan McGregor?
Wait. With Natalie Portman, though. She said something that was like, whoa. Because she said that she was... She said this. Everyone thought I was a horrible actress, Portman later recalled to New York Magazine. I was in the biggest grossing movie of the decade and no director wanted to work with me. To me, I think it hurt her for a little while.
Yeah.
But then she was able to go to other movies. Like, someone took a chance on her. And then it didn't. Like, I agree mostly it wouldn't hurt. But, like, Hayden Christensen... I don't know if it's going to hurt the people now, but I can see that it can hurt them. Like,
I don't think it has, because they've been in other stuff already.
the other, yeah.
Eh.
But, like, will it be as successful as...
I don't know.
And that's the thing, is, like, that's really hard to compare from one of the most successful franchises ever.
Yeah.
Is it going to be as successful?
Yeah.
The only one that I don't feel that it ever hurt was Harrison Ford. I think it helped him a ton.
Yeah.
It helped him a lot more, like, to get more out of it than what he ever was able, what he could have.
I don't think it hurted Ray Fiennes.
Oh, Ray Fiennes?
Yeah.
What was he?
Is it? Who plays Qui-Gon? I don't know.
Oh, you mean, no.
I'm blanking
Liam
on
Neeson.
Liam Neeson didn't hurt him.
It didn't hurt him. It didn't hurt him. But he was on...
And he was good in it. He was...
Do you think he was the best actor in it? In episode 1?
Him and Ewan McGregor.
What about...
Ewan McGregor is spot on. Spot on for
I agree.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Darth Maul?
Yeah.
He didn't say any lines, so... Ray Park is awesome.
Yeah.
Because he's an actual, martial artist, so...
Yeah.
And they missed a big opportunity, George, to have the best villain through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Why'd you kill him in the first one? Then Jar Jar Binks is the best villain, though.
If you do the Jar Jar, Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Have you heard that fan theory?
No.
That Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Lord.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't put it past him.
No.
Because somebody wrote an article about it, and it had scenes. It showed scenes from the movies. Like, he's totally using drunken kung fu in the battle.
Mm.
And how would Jar Jar, Mr. Qui-Gon has to jump on top of me to save me from a armored transport.
Yep.
Huh. I didn't know.
That he is, because who hands over power to Palpatine?
Jar Jar.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do like that in Robot Chicken, though. They do that. They do that fan theory in it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Oh, Annie!
No, but like Palpatine in the third one calls him.
Yeah.
And he's like, Jar Jar, I used you to gain power. And he's like, oh, sure you did. And like he goes back and it's like, ha, 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 like an evil laugh. And you're just like, Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel bad for Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. But you have George Lucas, who probably hadn't directed for so long.
77.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have
20 years.
Jake Lloyd. Yeah, it's a great opportunity for him. But he should have said, like, no, man, I'm good. Like,
No,
you're not very good. But at the same time, it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah. At that time, that name, it was heavy. It was heavier than what it is now. Now I don't think it's as heavy.
Yeah, I don't think it's as heavy now, but yeah, I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah.
Ruined his life pretty much.
Which I get, like that, but I don't blame. You can't blame him for the terrible job.
For the terrible lines.
Yeah.
Are you an angel?
It's, that's George Lucas. That's not him for the most part.
Like I said, George doesn't understand the story. Midichlorians, George. That's not what Obi-Wan taught me back when I was a kid. He told me the Force is in everything and it's all around us. It's not little microscopic creatures in our blood that help us feel the Force.
Man, it always takes me back to Robot Chicken, man. I just can't talk about it. But yeah.
So I've rewritten The Phantom Menace in my own mind, so it's a much better movie when I think about it than what it actually is.
Do you think, I'm just wondering, I don't think they'd ever do it, but do you think they would ever redo it?
No.
Disney wouldn't?
No.
Even do a better job, because they could do such a better job now than what they did.
Could they do a 1.5?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Or
1.5.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Like they did Lion King 1.5, kind of like 1.5, yeah.
They could probably make it.
They've done.
Fox did that with X-Men.
They did 3.5 and 3.5A,
Right.
or 3.5A and 3.5B.
Yeah. So they could do.
They could.
And maybe help it redeem or try and get some more story out of it.
Well, I really want them to do an Obi-Wan 3.5.
Aren't they doing Obi-Wan TV show, or is it a movie?
I've heard, and Ewan McGregor is on board.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
When he was just a young Padawan learner.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys, what do you think the cliffhanger was? What do you think the key moment in this movie was? And what do you think was the scene stealer of this movie? I want you guys to do your own thing of what you think.
Okay.
And then I'm going to read what this magazine says.
Do you want to go first?
No, because I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Cliffhanger is it The Apprentice
No.
or The Master?
I want you to say what your cliffhanger would be. What would be the cliffhanger
I am.
Okay.
Is it The Apprentice or The Master that we killed?
Oh, yeah. That's a big cliffhanger. Okay.
And then the scene stealer?
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, has to be Jar Jar Binks.
Huh. Why would you say Jar Jar Binks?
He literally stole every scene because he was so awful.
I agree.
Oh, I want to bring something about that Jar Jar just real quick that drove me crazy. He was talking like the people in 1997. Why is he talking like a teenage girl in junior high that I knew?
So
that was frustrating. I was like, oh, wow, I'm in junior high again.
he was Full House, the Olsen twins.
Oh, okay.
He talked like them.
Yeah.
Me so sorry.
Yeah.
Me so sorry, me so.
And by the way, watch it with the
Captions?
and it's more confusing because I'm like, wait, what is he? Because in my brain, I'm like, oh, I understand him. Then I look at the captions, what?
So yeah, it wasn't a good scene stealer.
But he was a scene stealer.
He was.
You thought
he chewed the scenery.
Okay.
And then
the key moment.
The key moment.
Key moment.
Yeah, when Darth Maul pulls out that double-bladed lightsaber and
Yeah. What do you think?
No, I have no idea.
You don't have any
I
idea?
have no idea.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't be able to. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't know either. But I would agree with your cliffhanger. That was the best cliffhanger because it's like, well, wait, what is it?
Yeah. Because they don't know. Well, we know they don't know.
Yeah. The cliffhanger for this in this
The
magazine says, when Darth Maul kills Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan aggressively battles the Sith Lord with lightsabers. How is that a cliffhanger?
That's not a cliffhanger. It is a cliffhanger because if you didn't
I can
watch
see
the
that as a
TV show,
scene stealer.
because Darth Maul survives.
Yeah. Key moment, this is weird, but after suffering a fatal stabbing with the lightsaber, Qui-Gon uses his last breaths to ensure Obi-Wan will continue Anakin's Jedi training. I can kind of see that as a key moment, but at the same time, not an overall key moment.
No.
Then the scene stealer, Darth Maul, played by British actor and martial artist specialist Ray Park, wielding a double-bladed lightsaber trained by the evil Darth Sidious. Maul is a Zabrak with the telltale facial tattoos and horns of the species.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, besides Jar Jar Binks, because Jar Jar Binks is a bad scene stealer.
Yeah.
Because everything he's in, he steals the scene, and it's really annoying.
Oh, so.
But like the positive scene stealer, it's Darth Maul. Anytime
it
he's
is
on the
Darth Maul.
screen, Darth Maul is.
I
the
figured that's what it was
positive.
going to be. So,
But like, I think at the same time, like, I think there should be a positive scene stealer and a negative scene stealer. Jar Jar is the negative. To me,
but you
Jar
can't
Jar.
do that with the original ones. They're what are the negative scene stealers in Star Wars?
There's nothing negative
The
about
remastered stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You could say the remastered stuff
Yeah.
is probably the scene stealer,
But so
or the digital stuff. Yeah, digital stuff.
Micheal Jackson lobbied hard to play Jar Jar Binks.
Wow.
Why?
He wanted to play Jar Jar Binks with prosthetics, so actually be in the scene with makeup, and I would have loved to see it.
That would have been a lot better and it would have been
because the old Captain EO show at Disneyland and all his music videos, he could act.
Yeah,
he could act.
He was in The Wiz, right?
He was in The Wiz.
And
Scarecrow.
But even as the music videos too, like
Thriller,
that's acting, and he did a great job. At that stuff.
Yeah. So just think, we could have had Leonardo DiCaprio and Micheal Jackson.
Leo probably would have. I wonder if he would have fought George on dialogue.
I am sure he would have.
Oh, he definitely would have.
Because
he's done that before.
Yeah.
Because we know Jake Lloyd didn't.
Oh no.
Well, how old was DiCaprio at that time? In '97?
He wasn't that old.
He wasn't that old.
Well, he had Gilbert Grape in the 90s, mid 90s.
So, but he was older then.
But do you know how old Mark Hamill was in '77?
Wasn't he like 20 or 30?
He was 26. He was
Really?
playing an 18-year-old.
Wow, yeah. He did a good job.
Yes, he did.
Pulled it off. Looked like an 18-year-old.
Leo could have pulled that off. He could have.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that they should have just had
Hayden Christensen.
Anakin from the very beginning, older.
Because then it mirrors Luke.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And that's totally what is happening in the prequels. What color did Anakin wear in Episode 1? He was wearing white.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the colors of the clothes he wears in Episode 2 and 3.
3, he's just straight. Yeah.
Now, was maybe the reason they wanted somebody young to be like, this is the chosen one, and the chosen one can be a tiny little child?
Maybe. But George doesn't understand his story.
That's the frustrating part.
And see, like, at the same time, like, how can you really... Like, they never talk about how they find Jedis.
Yeah.
Like, they never talk about it, like which is really weird.
Yeah.
Because they have younglings and all that. In Episode 3, they have all that stuff.
Yeah.
They don't really show that they have any in Episode 1. And so, with Luke, and that sort of stuff, you could think, well, they can have Jedi that are old, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And even Obi-Wan, when he said in like 6, I think, or 5, where he's like, when Yoda's like, oh, he's too old, and he's like, well, wasn't I too old? And it's like, you're 60 years old when you're being trained.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do they find?
That,
It is never like,
because George made huge plot holes.
I know he did, but I'm just saying it's just interesting that because the age thing, he could have done anything with the age thing because he had no setting, but because of what he did with Phantom Menace, it's like, nope, you have to be young, and it's like, well, how do you find young babies?
You have to be a baby, pretty much, based on if a 9-year-old's too old.
And do all hospitals have to like check your midichlorians? Like, oh, this could be a Jedi. Take him to the Jedi temple.
Yeah, take him to the Jedi. But my baby.
True. I love hearing this. This makes me go, oh, yeah, okay.
But
I love it.
We're not. It's not too. It's not the point. None of this is the point. New things to look at. According to Roger Ebert.
New things
to look at.
So the final battle. Yeah. Wouldn't it make more sense that instead of a 9-year-old getting in a spaceship, an actual, somebody,
a person who can fly.
Yeah.
Because they just did autopilot.
And
it's like, well, how can Anakin be a good pilot? Like, I get the pod racing thing. He's good there. But it's like, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little
different.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And if Anakin made C-3PO and flew in a space battle with R2-D2,
Yep.
how does he not remember them?
Concussion.
It's just dumb. That's dumb. I can understand
No,
because
I know.
they cleared their memories.
No, they cleared
3PO's memory. Not R2-D2, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, why didn't R2-D2 like say, oh, it's Anakin Skywalker, like Darth Vader's Anakin say, oh,
yeah. Why didn't R2-D2?
Yeah.
It's the plot holes.
I understand that he had to bring in the character.
I like this movie when I rewrote it in my head.
Yeah.
It makes much more sense. And there's a fan edit of this that I need to find.
Yeah.
That fixes most of these problems we've been talking about.
Oh, okay. Did you see in the pod race, Warwick Davis?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was watching it, and I was like, oh, there's Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that he was in it.
When we talk about Solo, well. But
he's in it too.
In one of the Tatooine scenes, there was some guy at a table and a yellow band across his eyes. Mm-hmm. People wrote fan fiction about him, and George Lucas brought him in.
Wow.
And I'll be talking about it more in episode 3.
He brought him into canon.
Yeah, he did.
Just because of fan fiction.
The fan fiction. Yeah. So George, when he came out with these movies, he changed a lot of stuff that had been going on in the books.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, that's cute but this is my world.
So he was more like the Pride stuff?
He didn't understand his story. Sorry, I keep beating the same drum, folks. I apologize.
Did he not understand his story? Is that what you're telling us?
He didn't understand his story. It's sad.
But at the same time, like, it's understandable that he didn't understand it because he didn't understand it, and you could, because of what he's talking about, what he's saying, what these movies are putting out.
I think he should have wrote the story and had somebody else direct it. Because he should have looked at the original trilogy and saw which were the 2 greater movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you at all.
It's his empire. So
Yeah, but just like what we talked about.
Because he pushed everybody else away, there was nobody to question what he was doing when he made this.
Yeah.
He was the god of the Star Wars universe.
And I feel that's always the problem with the people who they're not well grounded. Like, they don't have anybody to ground them.
Yeah.
Because you just go crazy because that's all you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what has worked. This is what I'm going to do. All this stuff. But then you go crazy because, well, no one can really stop me because this is how it's worked. And it's worked and it's worked. Like, no one said no to him.
Nobody
on
said
these 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And no one said, well, that's kind of dumb, man. You remember you have this, this, and this. Why are you bringing that in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Can I talk about some stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Just kind of rolling off with director. And in 4 and 5 and 6, we talked about how, like, the first cinematographer was, like, his own thing and ticked George Lucas off. So he started... When he came off the other films, he was basically, I'm not the director, but I really am the director.
Yeah.
I'm just directing through the director.
Yeah.
So it really didn't end there. So I just want to tell a little bit about the director, producer, cinematographer, those people. So our producer is Rick McCallum. Anybody know Rick McCallum?
No.
He was the producer of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series. Okay.
Wait, didn't that bomb?
There was a lot of
problems with that.
No,
one?
There was quite a few episodes.
There's quite a few. So I don't know if it really bombed.
Okay.
But it's not.
It was better than King of the Crystal Skull.
Anything's better than that.
Yes.
So cinematographer.
Yeah.
David Tattersall. Guess what he was involved in? He was the cinematographer for the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series. Whoa, surprise. Okay, well, maybe the editor.
Yeah.
Paul Martin Smith, the editor of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series. Oh, wait. He brought on another editor. His name is Ben Burt. And he's edited for and done sound design for Lucas in Episode 4. But guess what he was doing? He was the sound designer for the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles TV series. And he talked to them all in 1994. And so 3 years before it even was filmed.
Production, yeah.
He said, hey, I want to do a prequel trilogy, and I want you guys to all be those things. I'm already working with you on Indiana Jones, this TV series thing.
Okay.
So he still is doing the same thing. I know you guys. Da 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 da.
Do you know who should have directed it?
Who?
George's buddy, Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. Yep.
Was he an option or no?
No, the only option was George.
Why was he the only option?
Because he wanted to take firm reins of the Star Wars universe.
All over again.
And he screwed it up.
Yep.
Don't worry, it's a better movie in my mind. I'm sorry nobody can see it except for me.
But it's interesting. All of those guys, they did stuff still with George Lucas. Radioland Murders. You guys know that? That's a good. I love that one. The cinematographer, he did notable films: Radioland Murders, Con Air, The Green Mile, Vertical Limit, Die Another Day, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, Triple X, State of the Union, The Matador, Speed Racer. I thought I'd put that one in there.
Well, that's a good one.
Speed Racer's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely go watch it.
But yeah, I want to talk about Ben Burt real quick. He edited, and we'll get to this, but he edited all 3 movies, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
So I have a bunch of stuff on him. He's really very interesting guy. So he's an American sound designer. That's what he does first and foremost. Film editor, director, screenwriter, voice actor. And he's worked as the sound designer films for Star Wars, Indiana Jones, E.T., and WALL-E, and Star Trek in 2009.
Okay.
So he's done a lot of stuff, but I can't wait to talk about him later on in the other episodes. So stay tuned, everyone. This Ben
Do you have
Burt.
anything for Ben Burt in this episode?
So yeah, just
Besides
that
He did it.
he did it.
He did
Yep. He edited with Paul Martin Smith, who...
Should have used a heavier hand.
Yeah, Paul, and there you go. So saying that, yes, guess what editor has dropped from the next movie? Paul Martin Smith. He just dropped him, but he kept Ben Burt. And Ben Burt for the third movie, too. So I think Ben Burt is...
completely edit out Jar Jar.
Didn't they have a scene where they killed Jar Jar?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, one more
I
quick
want to
fact.
say that they did. What?
Last movie they filmed with film. Kind of interesting.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, then they went digital.
Oh, wow.
But I'll talk about the cool digital stuff on our next episode.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, last movie ever?
Last movie for Star Wars.
For Star Wars, okay.
Yeah, just the Star Wars.
Because everything now is digital except like Quentin Tarantino, who's weird already.
It does, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He does like...
Forgot about that weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all digital now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have to end this episode the way fanboys ended. What if it sucks?
Yes. So, please subscribe, rate, and leave a comment about episode 1.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? What did you think?
Have you rewritten it in your head?
What do you think the cliffhanger is, the key moment, and the scene stealer is? Right. Put it in the comments. Let's see what you guys think. All right. Have a great night and be good.